Good morning, everyone. Thank you for listening to another episode of the Making of Podcast. And I have a very special new guest to introduce to everyone today. My name is Collin Al-Samarrie. I'm one of the co-hosts around here, and I am going to be talking to the lovely Dr. Dixie. Good morning, Dr. Dixie.
Good morning. I'm super happy to be here and thankful for you to have me.
I'm super excited because I spoke to you like 4 or 5 months ago, I think, and we just had like a little chat. And I really wanted to get you on, but then life around here just got a little crazy with Ashley and Brian and everything going on. And I reached out a couple weeks ago, probably, and I'm like, hey, would you still be open to doing a podcast with me? And you're great. You just hopped in. You're like, yeah, sure. Just tell me when. So I wanted to first we like to do this or that's around here. And everyone knows that. I'm going to ask you some basic ones. So don't worry too much. Are you a cat or a dog person?
Dog.
Dog person. Do you have any dogs?
I have a golden doodle and she's great, but she broke her leg twice as a puppy and had to get surgery. So
Oh
we're
my,
in debt from this dog right now, but she's great. Yeah.
the things we do for our pets.
Yeah. I got her because I was pregnant with my second and I wanted my son to have a companion since he was such a like
Oh.
mama's boy. But then we had a puppy and a newborn and my 2.5-year-old, and then she broke her leg, and I was trying to like keep her sedated so he wouldn't play with her. So it kind
Oh
of
my
backfired,
gosh.
but it's okay. She's great now. It was worth it.
I love it. Are you a beach or a mountain girly?
Ooh, that's tough. I would say something about the salty water. I'm gonna have to go with the
Okay.
beach.
Okay. And this is my most recent favorite one to ask. Would you rather permanently have a pebble stuck in your shoe or a popcorn kernel stuck in your gums?
Oh, probably popcorn kernel. I feel like I should say the shoe thing since I'm a dentist, but no, we use our feet more than our teeth, probably.
That's why I think I like to ask dentists that question, just because it like falls into your realm, but the shoe would be super annoying to me.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Like blisters, and that sounds horrible.
And then I was like, well, if the popcorn kernel is stuck somewhere that's like not as annoying, you don't notice it, then it's not so bad. Okay, thank you. Let's get a little bit into just who you are. Who is Dr. Dixie? What is some of your background? Do you have like family that are dentists? And just kind of tell me, like, just from the beginning, what made you want to get into dental?
Yeah, I feel like my story is pretty generic. No dentists in my family, so I'm not like assuming a practice or anything. Obviously, I'm doing a startup. My dad was a physician though, and I did kind of grow up in like that private practice setting. So he was a family care physician and grew up walking those hallways. His patients and staff were kind of like family to us, and that entrepreneurial component and small business ownership. So I took that with me. And honestly, I just was pre med. And as I started talking to physicians, they were like, no, don't do it. Go to dental. And then I started talking to dentists, and they were like, do it. It's awesome. And it seemed like a good, obviously there's like the financial security component to it, but it seemed like something that would work as a mom also, having that flexibility, being able to dictate my hours, and just still have that patient connection. I'm so big on human connection. So that constant interaction and having like that patient base that you see regularly, it's a big deal for me.
I love it. Does your dad still practice?
So that's actually another component to the story. He passed away when I was 9.
Oh,
And
I'm so
yeah,
sorry.
no, it's okay. I mean, that was obviously decades ago now. And I'm the youngest of 5. So I have 4 older brothers. So,
Oh my gosh.
yep. So I had 4 kind of mini ones of him helping raise me growing up, which was a blessing. But yeah, that was kind of another thing, like following his footsteps. I was the last one, and no one had gone medical. And there's something about like following his journey that's brought me connection with him that I've kind of
Mhm.
like tried to grasp as I've grown up. Obviously, he's not here for these monumental life moments, and I wish he was, but just knowing that like what I'm doing right now, he literally did this. Like my mom and dad bought a gas station and made it his medical practice. And now like my husband and I are doing the same thing, and our kids are going to grow up in our practice. So it's just kind of like been full circle, and it's really cool. So
That's
yeah.
such a sweet story. I love that. And you're the only girl of the family. Four older brothers. That's intense.
Yeah.
You mentioned
Not
your
really.
kids. Tell me about your kids. Are they boys, girls, ages?
3-year-old boy, 1-year-old girl.
Oh, you're like a new mama and you're doing a startup. So
I'm
all
a
this
little crazy. Yeah.
that's I love it because actually I feel like so many of the mom dentists that I know talk about doing it like all at the same time pretty much. And I know this, but you were in the military. Can you tell me a little bit about that? Because I feel like I don't know if you would say this, but that's kind of crazy too. Like that's intense from just most people's generic lives, I would say.
Yeah. It's so my dad was he was actually also an I was in the Air Force. I was an Air Force dentist, and
Okay.
that was something else that I kind of followed my dad through. He was
Mhm.
an Air Force physician. And I did have a brother, my oldest brother was also in the Air Force, and we've had like multiple family members. I mean, our family reunions were like my uncle telling war stories and like pointing to the map and like where they were. So I would say like I grew up in a pretty pro-military household, and it was always like an honorable thing to serve your country.
Mhm.
So I'm a patriot. Like I love America, and I'm always up for a challenge. So I was like, let's do it. And it helped that they were going to pay for my dental school. So financially, it was nice too. But yeah, it was the best experience ever. Their training, I did a 1 year AEGD with them, and that just grew me as a clinician so much. And then after your residency, at least like where I was stationed, I was always surrounded by specialists. So I had that
Mm.
like mentorship beyond even my residency. And you have all the technology, all of the supplies. But there's more to it than that. It's not just clinic all the time. You have a lot more additional duties as a military officer, which will translate into private practice. But you do learn a lot more about having systems in place, being timely, even like HR stuff. There's a lot more leadership roles and just non-dental stuff that they have you doing. So it was awesome until it wasn't. And I very much struggled towards the end. And I'm not sure if you know this, Collin, but my husband, and I'm sure we will talk about this, he's also a dentist, but he was a Navy dentist. So I was in the Air Force and my husband was in the Navy. And we didn't coordinate that. We just met and happened to already both be in branches. So for the first 2 years, we were in different states. First, I was
Oh
in
my gosh.
Florida and he was in North Carolina. Then I was in Virginia and he was in North Carolina. Then they finally co-located us to where we are now in the Panhandle, which we were so thrilled about. We love it here. We're Floridians. It's a military hub with the most beautiful beaches and jets flying over you. So, I mean, for us, it was like a perfect fit. But I was commuting 1 to 2 hours each way because our bases were still 2+ hours apart, and traffic here is crazy. So when we first got here, it was like we couldn't even care less. We were just happy to live together as a married couple.
Hmm.
But once I had my son, that took a serious toll on me because I was ripping him out of his crib at 5 a.m., nursing him, and I didn't see him again until 6 p.m. So I missed out definitely on a lot of his life. And the weekends, we were all just like, he was sick from being at daycare all day. We were all just like so exhausted that we didn't want to like go out and do stuff and have fun family things because we were just tired. So towards the end, it was tough. But the paid maternity leave was nice.
How long did you get?
So it was 3 months, and they upped it to 4.5, like right as I entered maternity leave, and they honored that. So I had 4.5 months of paid maternity leave, which was amazing.
Yeah, that's amazing. I feel like in California, I think it's like 8 to 10 weeks or something crazy. It's not fair what us moms have to go through and expecting to
No.
go back to work.
Yeah, and I mean that's a pro of the military. When I had my second in the civilian, I took 5 weeks. So, but I went
Mm-hmm.
back part time.
So just with that, I mean, it sounds like you had a lot of pros, but maybe kind of cons. Would you recommend like people coming? You would. Okay.
I think the hurdle was being dual military because
Mm-hmm.
having that commute was really what made it harder. I think the military is. I want to say they're becoming like more and more supportive of families. I would maybe not have like all your kids in the military unless you're able to monopolize on the maternity leave, I guess. But what I realized early on was I could work half as much and have the same income in the
Mm-hmm.
civilian sector. You're
Okay.
underpaid in the military and you're working Monday through Friday. Plus, if I want to go somewhere even on a weekend, I have to use leave days on a weekend if you're going more than an 8 hour vicinity. So otherwise, they can call you. And if you're not able to report to the base
Oh,
hours, you're in trouble.
and that was for 4 years.
Yes.
Okay. That's yeah. And your husband was not in the same state as you.
For two of them.
Yeah.
That made it challenging, as you can imagine.
I'm like, you were more than 8 hours apart. So if you
Well,
wanted to
we
see
were
him,
less than 8 hours. So
oh,
that, yeah, he was in, well, for one of the years, we
oh
were
my
like 5 hours.
gosh.
Yeah.
How long have you been out now?
2 years, 2 years.
Okay. So when you got out, did you know well, you talked about your dad being a private physician and having his own practice. So did you always kind of know that's what you wanted to do as well, have your own practice versus being in an associateship? Can you walk me through that a little bit? Like, what was your decision for doing that? And how did you end up coming to knowing you wanted to do a startup?
The startup was always the dream.
Okay.
I toyed with the idea of being an associate when I had my second because
Mm-hmm.
it is nice not having to worry, about all the business ownership components. But ultimately, I have always dreamt of building something together with my family that is our
Mm-hmm.
own and creating every single detail so that it is 100% something I believe in. And
Mm-hmm.
acquiring a practice, I'm too particular. I would be redoing everything. The staff would
Mm-hmm.
probably hate me and it wouldn't work out. So I'm I'm a creator, and so it was always the goal. When my husband, when I found my husband, and he happened to also be a dentist, just made that dream easier and seemed more like within reach because I had a teammate in this, and we
Mm.
we were going to do this together. So that just kind of furthered the whole thing.
Can you tell me a little bit about his background, being a couple dentist, and just kind of like where he came from? Is he a first generation dentist?
Yeah, he is through and through first generation dentist. First generation,
Okay.
anything of higher education. His parents were nurses, so they were in
Okay.
medical, but his grandparents, his parents came from nothing.
Okay.
He's very much first generation, yeah. Comes from a very like middle class household and go getter.
Did he always know as well then that he wanted to do a startup? Or maybe just being with you, that was just kind of became the dream?
He never would have done it if he hadn't met me. It took
What a
some
smart
convincing.
husband.
Yeah. So here's the thing. I'm the risk taker and he's the
Okay.
conservative one. So
Okay.
he has a great job right now and never would have left. Honestly, originally he was talking about just staying in the military.
Oh,
Uh,
okay.
yeah. But he eventually saw the other side. So
You were able to convince him.
yes, hopefully he doesn't regret it later.
It's too late now, Dixie. It's too
Yeah,
late
we're
now.
in, so
I feel like that's just like a big question. Even, I mean, we're obviously like a startup group, but I always see docs asking about that between acquiring a practice or starting their own. And you really touched on the point that I think a lot of the startup docs gravitate towards opening their own practice is having that control of everything and building it the way you want. And you don't inherit like grumpy team members or like grumpy patients. But you came out and you are you still an associate right now? Because you did become an associate for a while, correct?
yes, yes, I
Okay.
am an associate right now. And actually, both my husband and I, when we were seeking associateships after transitioning out of the military, were very honest with our plan. And they
Mm-hmm.
knew from the beginning that this was the
Okay.
plan. We did dabble with them a little bit about what acquiring their practices would look like. They happen to
Mm.
actually also be a husband and wife team, two separate practices. Shane works for the husband, I work for the wife.
Oh, okay.
But ultimately, it wasn't the dream. Yeah.
Um, you said you were upfront with the docs, the owner docs right now. Can you just tell me a little bit about that? Has that gone well?
Yeah, it has. I mean, as well as it can, right? It's such a hard situation. And I mean, we work for amazing people. Like, and I think that's what it comes down to is we all want what's best for one another. And I think they see a younger version of themselves within us and want to
Oh.
support us. So it is sweet in that way. But it's still hard. Like we just had the discussion at my practice with my team. Okay, am I going to stop seeing new patients? Obviously my
Mm-hmm.
schedule is going to start dwindling. What does the timeline look like? There's always that uncertainty with the staff. Will you still have your job when I leave? Which sounds like she's hoping to replace me. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm super supportive of that. And if she does find a replacement, I may leave sooner rather than later, but I did have an opportunity kind of just fall in my lap working per diem with the VA as a
Okay.
contractor doing dental exams. So I have kind of like a plan B buffer type of thing for the meantime. And Shane's boss is like, doesn't want him to leave. So
Oh,
I think he's got some pretty good job security. Hopefully they're not going to listen to this and be like, "You're fired." But no,
are
they're just
you guys are you guys planning on leaving at the same time when the new practice opens or
no.
how? Okay.
So I am spearheading this, and Shane
Okay.
right now is off most Fridays. So that will be his first day to pick up at our practice is Fridays, and then we're hoping for like a slow transition out for him once I'm like fully supported at our office. So within the
So
next
you
year, I would hope it can support both of
okay.
us. And I'm planning to stay part time if possible, like 3 days
Mm-hmm.
a week or so. Yeah.
Cool. So you're the risk taker. You're the one spearheading all of this. So can you tell me from the very beginning about your practice? Dixie, I don't even know the name of your practice.
It's
Like I feel like when we talked last time, you were about to start things, but like
yeah,
I don't think you had even started building yet.
no.
Okay,
This
so
has
tell me,
all happened very quickly.
yeah, I remember you telling me like the timeline of it and I was like, "Oh wow, that's like a quick timeline." Like I was
Mhm.
excited for you because I mean, if you listened to like Tony's, it was a
Yeah,
year long. But yeah, just walk me through that. Tell me your vision for your practice and then maybe we'll start with like your location search.
sure. So the name is Pearl and Pine Dental Studio.
I
Uh,
love it.
yeah. And so the journey started years ago. Um, even when I was still active duty, I was like searching for stuff. My dream was to go straight from active duty into the startup.
Hmm.
So we'd been on the real estate search for years,
Oh, okay. Hmm.
which honestly is probably a blessing. It didn't happen that way because military to civilian transition is a lot on its own. And we didn't have any family support until recently. So that's also been a
Okay.
big deal as far as like local family here.
Hmm.
But yeah, we had been searching for years and nothing was coming up. We were looking at buying a piece of land and doing ground up construction. That's pretty much what most of it is around here is empty land.
Okay.
um, and it just seemed risky. There's a lot of wetlands here, and before you can even purchase the property, you know, you have to pay so much for like surveying and impact fees and all that stuff. So we had a couple buildings fall through, which I don't
Hmm.
know. Do you want me to go into that or do you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Tell me, you don't have to go like super detailed, but I love to know just kind of like, because this is like real life stuff that happens to
Right.
people. So,
Basically, my commute covered like a 10-mile stretch where there's not a single dentist. So I watched that place grow and grow, and there were no dentists there, but it was all empty land. So watching that, the years of my commute, I was like, this is where we want to be. And one building ended up coming for sale, and it was a plastic surgeon's office who was right where I wanted to be. And I actually was like, oh, there's a plastic surgeon there. Maybe we'll have a referral base for like cosmetic dentistry, this, that. I didn't know him personally. And all of a sudden, the building was for foreclosure. Turns out and I don't know like the extent of the story right now, but currently he's being charged for manslaughter of a patient.
oh my
And
gosh.
yep. So I won't get too much into that story, but it was
Yeah, yeah,
kind of
yeah.
a crazy, like, local story. And it's obviously extremely unfortunate. And there was some other stuff going on there. But I thought it was going to be a great business move because who would want to buy a crime scene building and it's like a foreclosure, so we can act fast and this and that. Well, the bank wanted to recoup like all of his loan
Oh
and was
gosh.
asking an outrageous amount for it. So basically, we lost the building. And
Hmm.
it's probably a good thing because it might be haunted. I don't know. But then we ended up touring the one that we ended up purchasing, and it had sat for 6 months. I hated it at first. It grew on me as the price dropped. So, so that's how we ended up there. But we closed on it in like end of December, basically New Year's Eve. Took a few weeks for permitting, and we're a month in, and trenching's done, plumbing's done, framing's done. They're doing electrical. Like they work 7 days a week. Shout out to Sky Echo Construction because they do not take a break. They've been amazing. So
How big is this space?
3,500 square feet,
Okay. How many ops are you planning on building?
9.
And then what are you thinking about starting out with?
We're outfitting 3,
Okay.
plumbing 9. Now I will say 2 of those ops are on one like separate side of the building, and we're actually making it one big room right now, and it's going to be like a flex space for our kids. So
Oh,
yeah, and we've even thought of like renting it out to someone who would complement our business. So right now it's going to be structured for more like 7 ops, but we have the floor plan laid out with plumbing and the event that we want to add 2 more ops and make it 9 in the future.
perfect. I love that. So 3 ops for you to start out with. And then, yeah, I feel like 9 is great for 2 docs, couple hygienists, as you guys continue to grow. I love that you're making a space for your kiddos. Are you going to have someone that's like there, like as a nanny for them when you're practicing, or what's your plan?
I don't have a solid plan yet, but it's all been
Okay.
talked about. I've even talked about having like, say my kids on school at noon and I'm there till 3, having like a nanny there during that time and offering childcare for other moms.
Mm-hmm.
So we've talked about that. We've also talked about making it like an IV lounge and like all sorts of things. So we'll see how it develops.
Big dreams. I mean, you have to, right? And just see how it works out. Pivot if you have to.
Hey friends, I just want to give some love to Net32 for supporting this episode. If you're a practice owner like me, you know the back end of running a dental office isn't always sexy, but it is necessary. Net32 is an online marketplace where you can compare brands, vendors, and prices all in one place. That means you're not overpaying or wasting time. And when you're building a startup or juggling multiple practices, every dollar and every minute matters. I've used Net32 and it's honestly made a huge difference. Check them out at net32.com/the making of. And now let's get back to the show.
Okay, I want to talk to you a little bit. You said that you pulled up some of your numbers and things. So do you mind talking about like the loan process too for you? If you're comfortable talking about what you're paying for this and like all the fun numbers of where a lot of docs don't even know where to start with loans.
One of the worst parts.
Yeah.
One of the worst parts for sure. And it's very scary. We're very poor right now. Okay, so we purchased our building and also have the business loan. So there's the loan for the building, the loan for the business, which includes like the build out costs, equipment costs, all of that stuff. So there's two ways to do this, assuming you're taking out loans for both. You either do them as one big fat combined SBA loan, or you do them as two separate conventional loans. The SBA loan is a much higher percentage. It's a variable interest rate, and it's basically like a 5-year low payment followed by a balloon loan, and then you pay off like whatever's left. The nice thing is, other than a 2% funding fee, you don't have to put cash down. We didn't go that route. We went the conventional route, but that did require 15% down on the building. So we purchased the building for $700,000 and put $105,000 down. Okay. There was only one bank willing to supply both the building loan and the business loan, and that was Huntington. Okay. The other options were to use Live Oak for the real estate portion, and then like Bank of America or Provide for the portion. So we liked Huntington for that reason, but they also gave us better interest rates than everyone else, but longer interest-only payments. So we're at 18 months of interest-only payments for the real estate versus it was 6 months with Provide. And it's paid over 15 years instead of like 10 or 12. So obviously long-term, if we keep the loan, paying more. But the other nice thing about Huntington was there's no prepayment penalties after 3 years versus like 5 years with Provide, for example. And our interest rates were, I have down here, 4.79% for the real estate and 5.19% for the business loan. We had a 0.5% drop in our interest rates because we agreed to using Huntington for merchant services, so like a credit card.
Oh, okay. Got you. And you kind of interviewed all of these banks trying to figure out which way you wanted to go. I feel like, is that like a longer process because you're trying to do the building and the practice loan?
I think it is, but we kind of, we started the search years ago, so we had just pre-approvals, and then in trying to get the building, we're like, yeah, we'll close in 2 months, and then we had to start funding all over. So we were really worried about if we were going to hash this out in time, because I was obviously, as you need to, going back and forth with all of the banks, but it worked out. We like just barely made it to the finish line though.
Congrats. I just feel like your story is like you did things real fast. So you got your loans, you got your location. What was next? You designed it yourself. You had someone come help you with the floor plan. Did you already kind of know what you were looking for?
We are using Ideal Practices.
Okay.
And their floor plan designer, John, probably drew me up 10 designs. Like this guy was in Europe emailing me back and forth. I'm like, I mean, it's okay. You can enjoy your vacation, but we also have a week until we close on the building. So I need to make sure this can work. So yeah, he was amazing. And even like after the fact, we ran into a hiccup because we purchased the building and this place is a bomb shelter. It's cinder block brick walls and a concrete ceiling. So yeah, it's crazy. So in that, we realized the floor plan was based off of the wrong wall thickness because with these cinder block walls, they're like way thicker. So we lost like a foot. They're basically like a foot deep, the walls around the entire perimeter and load bearing walls within the building. So we had to change the floor plan a little bit once we started demoing, which was kind of scary because I had already ordered all of my cabinets and all that stuff. So
did you have a local person do that for you or did you buy them from somewhere? We get that question a lot.
We are doing the DCI bundle. It's the DCI startup bundle. So you do chairs. You have to outfit like 3 ops and you can also do sterilization for like some extra freebies. But it basically came out to the same, if not slightly cheaper, going that route once you consider the bundle. So you get some like chair upgrades, you get upholstery upgrade, massage components in the chair, free hand pieces or free like handpiece motors. Yeah, so I want to say it was, I might be totally wrong on this, maybe like 5,500 for 12 o'clock cabinetry. And then we're spending 20 grand in sterilization. But what we actually did was just hit the minimum, which is 20 grand to qualify for the startup program. And my contractor is putting cabinets adjacent to those other ones. So, because our sterilization is like a decent size and to do the whole thing would have been crazy.
What size are your ops?
They are 8 feet, 10 inches by, depending on the op, 11 feet, 6 inches or 12 feet.
That's a good size.
Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. So, so you kind of talked about one of the hurdles being the cinder blocks and a concrete ceiling. That sounds cool though.
I'm going there for her.
Oh, that's so true. I didn't even think of that. We don't have anything like that in California. We get earthquakes though. What, tell me like just, I don't know, about permitting. Was that a huge hurdle going down to City Hall, talking with the city, any of that stuff?
Super easy. No? My contractor handled everything. It was like a 2 to 3 week turnaround.
Okay.
And we actually didn't even need a permit for demoing, I guess, in our area. The exterior structure wasn't changing. So they were able to get started pretty much immediately with that.
Anything you would have maybe done differently with like choosing your space or anything, or you're just happy with where you're at?
I'm happy with where we're at. I think you have to be realistic with timeline and budget. And it's unless you have an unlimited timeline and budget, you're going to sacrifice maybe some aesthetics here and there. You know, our building does look a little bit more like a warehouse than I would have liked, but we do have some plans to kind of spruce it up outside. So yeah, we're so ready that I feel good about it. And it's in a really easy to access area. So although it's not right where we wanted it to be, it is closer to some other dentists, which we didn't love at first, but no, we're happy with it. So,
did you do a demographics report?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yep. I can tell you what it told us.
What your ratio is?
Yes. So the ratio I want to say was 1 to 4,500. Yep. And then it's all like upper middle class. The incomes are trending up annually. 4.5% annual growth, which is like way above average. This area is growing a lot. And average age is 38 with a ton of families. So exactly who we're looking to treat. And there's not a ton of specialists here, which does also help us in a way because we are doing pretty much everything in-house. So
Okay. How far is it from your house? Are you pretty close now?
I am like 15 to 20 minutes.
Oh, even better. And how far from your current practice that you're working in?
It is, I want to say like 10 or 12 miles away.
Okay. Was that part of like your agreement with your current doc?
Yeah, I had an 8-mile radius.
Oh, okay.
I will say there aren't many dental offices actually between the office I'm at and the office we're opening, but they're
Mm-hmm.
separated by a huge body of water and it's a toll bridge. So
Oh,
it's kind of like a separate region. Yeah. Basically, my commute to work, 90% of it is over a bridge. So
oh, okay. You're
there's
like
not,
our wetlands.
yeah, yeah. It's more like a bay, but there's definitely a lot of
Okay.
like wetlands too. I mean, our backyard is marsh. So
Which city exactly are you located in? You said the Panhandle, but I don't think we actually got to where are you?
our closest major city is Pensacola. I live in
Okay.
Milton, and our practice is going to be in Gulf Breeze.
Tell me a little bit. I love the name Pearl and Pine. Can you tell me just a little bit about what your vision was and like what was your inspiration?
Very hard to pick out a name. I'm just gonna throw that out there. Um,
Did
we
you have
wanted,
to look make sure there was like nothing similar to that?
oh, we did, yeah. And there's
Okay.
nothing. I think we're the first.
Okay.
So I can hear Ashley already telling me, like, "Are you gonna
I
trademark
was just gonna say, make sure you get that
that?"
trademark in.
Yeah. So it's this was actually one of the most difficult parts for us because
Okay.
I'm a woman working with a man and we have totally different vibes. And it was like, how do we mesh this? I wanted it to be very like relaxing spa like similar aesthetics to Bloom.
Okay.
And it's funny, like Tony was talking about her logo being very like thin lines and stuff, dainty. That's what I wanted. And my husband was like, no man is ever going to want to come to that. Make it more masculine. So that's where Pearl and Pine came about. Pearl is kind of that like feminine representation, and Pine is that more like masculine representation to just like reflect the husband and wife team that we are.
Hmm.
Also, we live in an area that's pretty populated with oyster farms, and Pearl is
Oh,
kind of like a way to honor the oyster farms in the area and the pine tree forests surrounding us. So we're really big into nature, and this is like a very coastal and countryside type of area, and we wanted to like harness energy from all of that and put it into a name. So
how did you come up with your logo and stuff? Did you have
chat
someone do it?
Not even kidding you. We have a team that helped us with the logo, but here's where my like I have to control everything came in. Nothing was speaking to me.
Okay.
I spent so many hours on ChatGPT and I limited my it would be like, you have to wait 10 minutes. I've generated too many photos. And I would wait 10 minutes and like have it generate another one. And it ended up making our logo. I was telling it what to do and showing it pictures of stuff off Pinterest that I liked. And here we are.
You were paying people to help you design it and you just went on AI and had it do it for you. Have you, this is random, have you used like AI and ChatGPT for a lot of this kind of stuff for you?
Well, I didn't even know like what ChatGPT was until like 2 months ago. I think I was on a girls' trip and someone was talking about it. And listen, my husband and I'm like so not into like I like technology if it's gonna help me with dentistry, but we don't like sitting on our phones. Like we're outdoors people. We like to unplug as much as possible. And my husband doesn't want robots listening to him. So very much was not doing the TikTok thing, not doing
Okay.
I was like off social media. And then we're like, we need to start getting onto this in marketing and learning what chat gpt can use for our business. And I have some other business ownership friends who helped me. So yeah, we use it to clean up pretty much everything, our bios, mission statement, all of that stuff. Like we wrote the
Mm-hmm.
core context, but then Chat GPT made it sound much nicer.
That's amazing. Ashley's husband, Brian, loves ChatGPT, loves all of the AI things, and he's been using it for years and always trying to get me to like do things with it. And I was like, no, it's okay. And once I started, you can't stop. It literally does everything for you. It's crazy. It makes everything sound so professional. It just makes you sound like you know exactly what you're doing when I have no idea what I'm doing.
Oh, I'll send it a picture of my plant and be like, what does my plant need? And it gives me this detailed rundown. There used to be a separate app for that. Now it's all
Yes,
just ChatGPT.
that is so funny. Tell me about like the colors and like just all of that kind of stuff, the flooring, all the fun things that us women love.
Yes, it's the most fun part. And I wish I had more time to like devote to that. Right now, I feel like we are
Hmm.
so busy with all of the logistical stuff, and that's the most fun part. But
Hmm.
it's definitely like organic looking, very like natural, different wood tones, greens, neutrals, some like champagne gold, I think is the finish that it's
I
called.
love it.
Plays on like texture, but very just airy and simple inside. Probably a lot of plants. Speaking of plants.
Did
um,
you worked with Ideal Practices and did they help you like with an architect, an interior designer, that kind of stuff? Or how did that work? Did that play into it?
So those are additional fees. If you want to do anything with an interior designer, that's out of Ideal Practices realm.
Okay.
The architect, you're still paying the architect for the plans, but they hand it to the architect on a silver platter because you do the floor
Okay.
plan. So yeah,
Got
but
you.
our architect works with our contractor, which I think is probably the route most people should go. Uh,
Hmm.
and it was kind of bundled into our fee with the contract for the contractor.
I see, I see. Yeah, because that's like always another question too, is like if you get an architect or you just kind of have like Patterson draw up your plans for you, but you did a lot of that through Ideal Practices and your contractor and construction and everything already. But then the interior design part is all you.
Yep, and unless you want to hire someone out. Yeah, and I will say Ideal Practices saved me a lot of money helping me with the floor plan. And that's where I get a little like personally, I wouldn't do it any other way. I would not take a free service through
Hmm.
Patterson or Henry Schein because they're obviously trying to sell you equipment and cabinetry and all of that stuff. So there's a conflict of interest there.
Hmm.
And just having sinks in the operatories versus having a hand washing station. Just there's so many things that you can do.
Hmm. Did you have like as many change orders?
Haven't had any so far, and our contractor is known for not having any. So
That's amazing.
yeah, he's like super just sticks to his word and honorable, at least up to this point. I couldn't recommend him more. Just everything's been like such a pleasant experience with him, and he really like loves what he's doing and bringing the vision to life. So if I ask for something here and there, he just doesn't sweat it. He's like, it's on
Mm.
me. Don't worry about it.
What was the name of the company again?
It's Skyeco, Skyeco, and they're based in New Jersey.
Oh, okay.
He kind of like, and that's part of why things are moving so quickly. He moves the crew here. They stay in an Airbnb and like live at the site. So
Oh,
yeah,
he wants things done quick then.
well, so do the workers because they're away from their
Yeah.
family and that stuff. But in that, we've saved a ton of money on materials because they're trailering it from New Jersey, where it's like 10% less than Florida. Yeah.
Interesting. I've never heard of that before, actually.
Very well
Where
versed.
are you right now? You kind of touched on where you were in the construction process, but where are you? What's next? When are things supposed to be done?
We were thinking early June, but it is moving ahead of schedule. So it we did a walkthrough with my contractor and this past Friday, and he was like, we're still waiting on a few things, but it could be as soon as end of April.
Oh
And
my gosh.
they just started this early February. So they are like really moving quickly. And let me also say the demo was not easy. We had those center block walls that they had to like reinforce with steel framing. And I went in there while those guys were like knocking those walls down, and it's like no small feat. But right now, the plumbing and electrical is getting in, and then walls are going up. They're closing in the framing. So I need to make sure I know everything I want done.
Yeah. Now your timeline is also
Yeah.
moved up a little bit. Are you visiting the job site a lot?
All the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's 5 minutes from my mom's house, and she watches my daughter while I'm at work. So pretty much every time I go to see my mom or pick up my daughter, I stop by the site.
Right, that's the best way to do it because things change and like little details can get missed, but it sounds like your construction crew is on top of everything. What has been like just the biggest growth portion for you in this whole journey, like personally, between being in the Air Force, now you're out, you're doing this startup, like just what have you found yourself like being able to do that maybe you didn't think you'd be able to do?
Make decisions quickly.
Okay.
I'm normally that person who, like, if I'm at a restaurant, I'm yelping every single meal
Okay.
before I can make a decision on what I want for dinner, which drives my husband crazy. But we've had
Mhm.
to, so naturally, like with every single purchase and contract and everything, like I've wanted to just know everything. And sometimes you have to like make some decisions on the fly and just kind of roll with it and know that it's going to be okay, and trust in like your team too.
Yeah.
So luckily I've got a solid team who has my back, and I want to be able to do it without everyone else that's been involved up to this point. So
Speaking of contracts, you have a lawyer. Can you just tell me real quick? I know, I feel like I could talk to you for another episode, so we probably will do another one. Tell me a little bit about finding your lawyer.
we were given a few options through Ideal Practices,
Okay.
and I'm blanking on the name, but Rob Montgomery, I think. No, wait, it's like My Dentist Lawyer or something like that.
Okay.
Let me pull him
So
up
they
real quick.
specialize in
Yep.
dental
And
stuff.
my husband had heard them speak through like Dental Nachos or some other podcast, and
Okay.
really liked them. So we went with them. Yeah, Rob Montgomery. And they've been awesome. Our lawyer fees were up to this point only like $2,500, which I
Okay.
was really good.
Yeah.
We were told to expect 8 to 10 grand. And I think part of the reason was less for us is because we had no lease negotiations. We just had the contract, and our contract to buy our building was very standard. It was like a templated commercial sale contract for the state of Florida. So they just helped us with stuff we probably could have done on our own, like creating our LLCs and that kind of stuff. But yeah,
ChatGPT.
Yeah. Well, I created my own LLC as a contractor for dental, but I was like, I should probably make sure this is done right. This is a little bit bigger, but it was $2,500, so not bad.
Not bad at all.
More that we incur throughout the process.
Yeah, I think Tony said hers was like 5, I think was what she said recently. So cool. What is one thing you're loving right now? Because we're almost at an hour already, Dixie. We've like blown through this. What is one thing this week that you are just loving? It could be related to the office. It could be completely personal. It could be anything.
I have been loving running outside. We've had like 70-degree sunny weather, and I love going for a run and getting some vitamin D, getting exercise, working on my breathing, being alone. Sometimes I don't even listen to anything. I just listen to the birds chirp. That's kind of my reset right now that I've been loving.
Ashley, Brian, and I did a podcast. We recorded together last Friday. And yeah, because I'm a big runner. And so we're getting Ashley to become a runner now because Brian also, once he's done with his treatment and stuff, he wants to start running again. And I am with you like 110%. When you're a mom and you're like working all the time, running outdoors, and I don't listen to anything either because like you just get that nature and you like spend time with yourself, and it's like therapy, right?
therapy. It's very rare nowadays that we completely unplug, and it's not like you're
Mm-hmm.
just and scrolling through your phone or hopefully not answering phone calls or anything. So it forces you to just be one with yourself, which is very important.
Have you always been a runner?
For decades now, yeah. I was actually a
Okay.
gymnast up until college. That was like
Okay.
I was a very competitive gymnast like my entire childhood, and then took up CrossFit and running, and that's still what I do to this day. So
I love that. A little you time. Any advice for anyone that maybe in this process, just kind of over the stuff that we talked about, anything thinking about it? And then I also want to know if you have any questions for the group that I can pose to everyone and they can help you with.
that's awesome. My advice would be if you're a mom, there's never a good time. So just pursue your dreams and it's going to make your kids proud. I can say from experience watching my parents go through it, and having that legacy that is part of your entire family. If you're in the military, you're way more prepared than you think you are. So don't let them scare you into staying in. So follow your heart. And my biggest thing that like changed everything when someone told me this, and now I will share with you, is if you're not building your own dream, you're building someone else's.
Mm-hmm.
So that is something that made me really realize it's time to pull the trigger. So.
Mm-hmm. What questions do you have for the group?
I actually just posted one, but we're trying to do audio, like a sound system for the practice. And
Mm-hmm.
I was reading, like I know a lot of you guys use the Sonos speakers, but I'm a little bit concerned with like what the aesthetic looks like with those. I like the speakers that are like flush mount with the ceiling for the look.
Mm-hmm.
But I've heard it's more cost effective to go with like the Sonos route and that they're just better quality. So just advice on sound systems, who set them up, how did you decide where the speakers go, or should you just not have any music playing at all?
Just the sound of the drill. That's
Yeah,
what patients love.
and then if there's any like national sign companies or how you guys went about getting your signs made for your logo wall and your exterior sign. Those are my two big tasks right now. So
Perfect. We will post that. And then people listening, I mean, because not everyone's in the group. And if you're not in the group, go join our Facebook group. Follow us on social media too. Where can people find you, Dr. Dixie? If people want to just reach out to you, where do they do that?
So my Instagram handle is probably the best. I'm on TikTok, but I'm trying, guys. It's just so much. But I definitely do respond to Instagram and actually know how it works for the most part. So it's Dr. _ Dixie Lynn Mobley, Lynn for Lynn. And we also just did our practice Instagram. It's Pearl and Pine Dental Studio. So if you guys want to give us a follow, that would be awesome. But yeah, we're excited to share this journey with everyone. So.
Do you guys have a website?
I got in my inbox today our landing page, so I need to look at that. Of course, I have some edits because I'm a control freak. So,
of course. I mean, it's never perfect the first time, anyways.
Right.
Awesome. Thank you so much for being on, for sharing everything. I feel like I'm going to need to talk to you again just to get more updates once things start moving so fast for you, which is crazy. I will link all of the contact info for you as well in the show notes and the newsletter that goes out. If you guys want to reach out to us, also, I will link everything. Join the Facebook group, follow us on Instagram. Yeah, and just thank you for being a listener. Thank you, Dr. Dixie, for reaching out and just wanting to share your story too. I think that's what makes this group so special, is just the community of it, because there's only so many different ways you can build a startup, but just knowing that you're in it with someone else and you're not doing it alone. Mm-hmm. And your story is so different. I love it.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys, and I'm always posting questions on Facebook. So definitely join that because there's a wealth of information on there. So
you guys heard it here. Awesome. Well, we will talk to everyone next time, and have a great day, Dr. Dixie.
Thank you. You too.
Thanks.
$250,000. That's how much the average dental practice loses every year to empty chairs, no-shows, last-minute cancellations, gaps that just sit there. Casper's Opportunity Finder constantly checks your schedule and sees every gap the second it opens and helps your team fill it with one single click. And for every Open Dental user, it's completely free. Go to meetcasper.com/register to download it today, because profit isn't the opposite of purpose. It's what funds it.